Greetings, dear friends. This is Debbie Gill, your host on the Enlightening Podcast, From the Shadow to the Light, where every episode unravels the layers of my life story. In today's episode, we'll embark on a fearless journey through Chapter 3, Into the Abyss. As we navigate the murky depths of trauma and adversity, we'll uncover the moments of darkness and despair that have shaped my journey. But among the shadows, there are also glimmers of light, moments of strength, courage, and hope that have guided me through even the darkest of times. Together, we'll explore 5 key themes that have defined my life story, from the depths of despair to the light of healing. From the early phases of exploring and experimenting to the challenging ordeals of escapism and self-destruction, each theme provides insight into the complexity of trauma and the power of resilience. We'll confront the aftermath of trauma head-on, exploring the ways in which it has reshaped my perceptions and experiences. And as we delve deeper into the abyss, we'll uncover the moments of light that have illuminated my path toward healing and wholeness. Join me as we navigate the tumultuous waters of the human experience. Together, we'll uncover the treasures hidden within the darkest corners of the soul and emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. Exploring and experimenting. The summer of 1970 marked the beginning of a journey, one of exploration and experimentation. It was a time of innocence and discovery, where every adventure held the promise of something new and exciting. As a 12-year-old, I took my first steps into a world of drugs and alcohol, guided by a sense of curiosity and a desire for belonging. Each hit of pot or gulp of beer was a gateway to a new realm of experience, a chance to escape the confines of my reality and enter a world of endless possibility. There was excitement with experimenting, but with it came uncertainty. I stumbled through adolescence, navigating the highs and lows of checking out different substances. Yet, with each stumble came a lesson learned, a step closer to understanding myself and the world around me. It wasn't just about testing new things. It was about forging an identity and finding a place where I belonged. And though the path was fraught with challenges and pitfalls, it was also filled with moments of joy and discovery. As I reflect on those early experiences, I see that they were more than moments of reckless abandon. They were moments of profound self-discovery. They were moments when I dared to step outside of my comfort zone and explore the depths of my own potential. But with exploration comes risk, and I soon found myself teetering on the edge of a precipice, unsure of where the journey would take me next. It was one that would test my limits, challenge my beliefs, and ultimately lead me to the brink of self-destruction. Have you ever found yourself seeking validation or acceptance through external means, such as substances or risky behaviors? How did this impact your sense of self-worth? Reflecting on my journey of exploration and experimentation, what insights or lessons can you apply to your own life when facing challenges or seeking a sense of belonging? The shadows of escapism and self-destruction. The allure of escapism is powerful. It promises an escape from the harsh realities of life, a fleeting moment of reprieve from the burdens that weigh heavy on our shoulders. And so, I found myself drawn into its embrace, seeking solace in the numbing embrace of drugs and alcohol. But what began as a temporary respite soon morphed into something darker, more insidious. I lost myself in a haze of intoxication, chasing after the next high with reckless abandon, oblivious to the consequences of my actions. Days turned into nights, and nights turned into a blur of self-destructive behavior and shattered dreams. I danced on the edge of oblivion, flirting with danger in a desperate bid to escape the demons that haunted my every waking moment. The shadow of escapism is seductive. It promises an escape from pain, a release from the shackles of reality. But the price of admission is steep, and I soon found myself paying with more than just my sanity. I sacrificed relationships, opportunities, and ultimately pieces of myself on the altar of addiction. And yet, for all the pain and suffering it caused, there was a perverse comfort in the chaos, a twisted sense of familiarity that kept me trapped in a cycle of self-destruction. I clung to the darkness like a drowning man clings to a life raft, unable to see the light that lay just beyond my reach. But even in the depths of despair, there were moments of clarity, glimmers of hope that pierced the shadow like a beacon in the night. It was in those moments that I realized that true freedom lay not in escape, but in facing my demons head on and reclaiming control of my life. Can you identify moments when you felt overwhelmed by the desire to escape reality or avoid facing difficult emotions? Have you ever felt trapped in the shadow of your own escapism, unable to see the light beyond? How did you navigate through this darkness? Trauma and its aftermath. Trauma has a way of leaving an indelible mark on our lives, shaping our perceptions and experiences in profound ways. For me, the events of that fateful night as a young teenager, the vicious assault that shattered my sense of safety and trust and took my virginity, would forever alter the course of my journey, leaving scars that were more profound than any physical wound. In the aftermath of such a traumatic experience, it can feel as though the ground beneath us has shifted, leaving us adrift in a sea of confusion and pain. Coping with the aftermath requires courage and resilience as we navigate the tumultuous waters of grief, shame, and self-blame. The trauma of sexual assault is a heavy burden to bear, carrying it with it a weight that can feel unbearable at times. It's a wound that cuts to the core of our being, leaving us feeling broken and alone in a world that no longer feels safe. Yet amid the darkness, there is moments of light, small glimmers of hope that remind us of our strength and resilience. It's in these moments that we begin to reclaim our sense of agency, taking the first step toward healing and wholeness. Reflecting on my own journey of trauma and recovery, I've come to understand that healing is not a linear process. It's messy and nonlinear, filled with ups and downs, twists and turns. But with each step forward, we move closer to reclaiming our power and rewriting our story on our own terms. Can you recall a time when you experienced a traumatic event that left you feeling shattered and vulnerable? How did you navigate the aftermath of that trauma? In what ways did you cope with feeling of shame, self-blame, or guilt following a traumatic experience? How did these emotions impact your ability to heal and move forward? Acknowledging the pain and trauma we've experienced is important, but it's also essential to recognize the strength and resilience that lies within us. By sharing our stories and supporting one another, we can create a community of healing and empowerment where survivors can find solace and strength in one another's journey. Navigating creativity through adversity. Throughout the darkness of trauma and adversity, there are often moments of light, small beacons of hope illuminating the path forward. They were found in unexpected places, guiding me through the darkest corners of my soul and reminding me that there is beauty even in times of despair. When I discovered myself mired in the abyss, my passion for creativity and expression was one such beacon of light. However, those moments were marred by the shadow of the addict's pull. I found myself alone, drinking my father's stolen whiskey and pouring my heart onto the pages of my journal. The alcohol cloaked my wounds, allowing the artist within to emerge. But beneath the surface, questions lingered, echoing the void left by my mother's absence. Unaware of her own wounds, she couldn't offer the love of nurturing I so desperately craved, leaving me to grapple with feelings of inadequacy and self-loathing. Turning to art and literature became a source of inspiration and a way to cope. Through writing and other forms of creative expression, I found a sense of purpose and meaning that transcended the pain of my past. In the depths of despair, I sought fleeting moments of connection, seeking love in all the wrong places. Promiscuity became a desperate attempt to fill the void, fueled by alcohol and drugs that only served to deepen the darkness within. Within the chaos, one beacon of light remained: school. The student within me thrived on knowledge, with each lesson becoming a lifeline in a sea of uncertainty, on obsession, finding solace in the pursuit of knowledge. It was during this turbulent time that the artist continued to develop, finding expression in unexpected places. A school assignment on realism led me to Rodin's The Thinker, sparking a moment of connection that resonated deep within my soul. And in English class, a performance of Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland offered a brief glimpse of light as the extinguished flame within me flickered to life, if only for a fleeting moment. Have you ever experienced moments of light or hope during challenging times? If so, where did you find them, and how did they impact your journey? How do you navigate the tension between seeking moments of light and grappling with adversity in your own life? Forging through the shadows. In the depths of despair, as the weight of trauma and adversity pressed down upon me, I found myself forging through the shadows. Each step forward felt like a monumental effort, yet I persisted, determined to find a glimmer of light in the darkness. My path diverged drastically from the one I had once envisioned. The athlete archetype, hinting at potential success, was overshadowed by misfortune and injury. As the year unfolded, events occurred that only deepened my pain, both physically and emotionally. A daring backflip on the school trampoline led to a concussion. A preventable accident on the parallel bars left me with dislocated ankles. The wounds I bore were not just skin deep, but penetrated the very core of my being, leaving me vulnerable and exposed. Besides the physical pain, an even darker shadow loomed: the trauma inflicted by those who should have been protectors. The assault by a friend turned predator shattered whatever semblance of security I had left. In that moment of terror, as his hands closed around my neck, I felt the icy grip of fear constricting my chest, threatening to extinguish the flickering flame of hope within me. As I grappled with the aftermath of the assault, I found myself adrift in a sea of melancholy and isolation. The scars on my body paled in comparison to the wounds on my soul, inflicted by the relentless pursuit of love and validation in all the wrong places. The addict within me gained strength, wielding its power over my physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, leading me further into the abyss of self-destruction. But even in the darkest nights, there were moments of illumination, fleeting glimpses of light piercing through the shadows. During my pain and isolation, writing became both a lifeline and a form of self-expression. Through poetry, I attempted to make sense of the turmoil within me, confront the scars of my past, and find a path forward through the shadows. With each word I wrote, each step I took, I forged through the shadows, refusing to be defined by my trauma. Though the journey was fraught with uncertainty and fear, I clung to the belief that the possibility of redemption and renewal exists even in the darkest of times. Have you ever faced a period of darkness or adversity? How did you navigate through it? How do you reconcile the search for love and validation with the reality of toxic relationships or harmful behaviors? As we draw near the end of this chapter, let's pause to reflect on the poignant journey we've taken. Flickers of light may seem scarce and short-lived in the shadows of trauma and emotional turmoil. Yet, in these moments of darkness, we often find the greatest opportunity for growth and introspection. My journey through the abyss was fraught with challenges and pain, with addiction's shadow looming ever present. My path was not one of triumph, but of struggle and despair. a journey marked by sorrow, loss, and the constant battle to find meaning in the chaos. In the throes of despair, I sought solace in fleeting connections, mistakenly seeking comfort in the wrong places. The weight of my past burdened my soul, leaving me to wrestle with feelings of inadequacy and self-loathing. Yet, amid the darkness, there were glimmers of light, small beacons of hope that illuminated the path forward, however briefly. In the midst of my turmoil, I found comfort in the power of creativity and expression, using writing and art as a means of coping and self-discovery. But my journey was far from over, and the road ahead remained uncertain. As we part ways for now, let's carry with us the lessons learned and the scars earned, knowing that even in our darkest moments, there is always a flicker of hope. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the shadows. Until we meet again, may you find light in the shadows and peace in life's trials and tribulations.